Welcome back to more of Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle 4. We're at World 3 in Part 3. And this one takes place in a tree for some reason. What you're doing here is, it introduces you to different gimmicks such as pipes and then using ladders. But here I collected 10 carrots, so I'm just gonna try and rampage through everything as much as I can. And right when it starts running out, you can see the blinking. I'm not really sure how well you can see it with YouTube's compression, but it's there. Anyway, the main gimmick with this stage is that you're going to have to use a lot of pipes. You're going to have to use a lot of breakable floors, as well as trampolines. Fortunately, with these trampolines, you don't have to drop off a ledge and then bounce off of them. But instead, you can bounce off of them just by walking. And right here, another choice of carrots. Fortunately, this stage isn't really too tough, but since you are going to be running away from enemies, or most of the time you're going to be running away from enemies, so it is important that you, I guess, backtrack some. And then make sure you do pay attention to where you're going and where you still need to go, because I know in this part I did miss a lot of things at first. What I just got there was the speed shoes. It's really good for me overrunning all the doors. As you can see, I clearly have not gotten the controls down yet. But anyway, now that that debacle's almost over with, here I just had to pick something else to get. And I got a stopwatch, and just like all the other games, the stopwatch freezes all the enemies. And it does come with this kind of ticking sound, or not really ticking, but more or less beeping. And that's what I was talking about with the, I guess the elastic bands or whatever you want to call those. I'll just stick with trampolines. But anyway, the doors are actually pretty tough to discern in this one, because you have to pay attention to like where the stairs are coming from, like what perspective it's going to, and it's kind of hard to tell whether or not those doors are going down or up. And yeah, I mean, this world only has like 3 stages, so fortunately this is going to be a short video. I mean, I say fortunately because it takes a lot to commentate over these videos. And mainly it's because I run out a lot of stuff to say, and like when I'm done explaining everything about the stage, then it's normally just me having to blabber on about other stuff that nobody could really be interested in. Also, when you have a choice between 2 treasure boxes, whenever one of them is still there when you open one, chances are that one's a fake. So just make sure you do keep that in mind while you're playing this. But yeah, getting back to what I said earlier, since the parts aren't as long, it's easier to say things without running out of stuff to say, and whenever you do run out of stuff to say, or at least whenever I run out of stuff to say, I always end up getting repetitive and then just saying a lot of the same things. And yeah, that totally wasn't repetitive. And now that we got the last key, we can just go to the exit, but first I just want to see what's in here. And a extra gun just in case I need it. Also, you can tell the rigged ones whenever you stay still for a while and then you see them moving. So just make sure you keep that in mind. Yeah, I was gonna be a sadist and kill that Daffy, but I guess he didn't want to stick around. Well, that's the end of 3-1. Now on to 3-2. Here we're introduced to a new enemy. This is gonna be the Fox, and this guy's a lot like Daffy. He just chases you directly. And he is kind of a jerk because he is a relentless pursuer. Basically, he's just always moving and always getting in your way. And this is the part where I end up having to watch where I'm going and then backtrack. And I actually do end up missing that, but that is something I did learn my lesson on, and I'm just gonna have to keep track of that as this series goes on. Also, the thing with these pipes is that they take the most ridiculous routes, and it's pretty easy to lose your invincibility or whatever power-up you have on while you're in the pipes, because you go kind of slow and the routes are ridiculous, as I mentioned before. So it's pretty easy to, I guess just take forever while you're going there. Anyway, right here is just more carrots. And right here, what I had to do is just improvise and then run away from the fox. And I think that'll lead to me missing some stuff on the right. And I mean, that's pretty much how this game is gonna go. I mean, there is a lot of improvising that's important. I mean, at least in the first game, it was short enough that, you know, you could just get a head start on everybody just by, you know, memorizing the layouts and everything. But not the case in this one. Well, at least that stopwatch is gonna help things. And also, in the Faction of Players forums, there was a question today about reactionary commentary. And whether or not you like it or not, and personally I do like it, I'm more into reactionary commentary, but I don't really see why it has to be either one or the other between reactionary to what's going on the screen or just talking about other stuff. I mean, I don't really see why it has to be just one or the other. I mean, like I said before, sometimes I have these 25-minute videos, and that time I just screwed up. But anyway, sometimes I have these 25-minute videos and I just end up running out of stuff to say. And also, it is hard to talk all the time for 25 minutes. So sometimes I think you need a mix of both. And, see, what I need to do here is just get back up there. And I don't really remember how. I think I had to take one of the pipes. But anyway, as far as the, different types of commentary goes, I don't really mind one way or the other. I mean, it depends on what kind of game it is, too, because if it's a, kind of an RPG where, you know, you're gonna be doing the same thing for a pretty long time, then I actually don't mind more, other stuff compared to the actual RPG, like, you know, trivia or anything like that. And then, if it's a short game where not too many people played it, and then, it's also short enough that you have to explain everything in a short amount of time, then, I think that would fit too. I think that was the case with me in either Gremlins or Goonies, one of those two. Also, if it's a game that everybody's played before, like Zelda Ocarina of Time or something like that, then it is pretty easy to do both. I mean, you do have to at least have some originality, otherwise, you know, what's really the point of showing the game off? I don't really know why I'm getting so philosophical about Let's Plays, but I don't know, I guess that's just kind of what I've been forced into when I've been playing the same type of game 4 straight times. Well, actually, not 4 straight times since I took a break on Halloween. And yeah, that was me getting lost. And, what I forgot was that, since I was running away from those foxes earlier... Actually, no, wait, I think I was running into them while I was invincible. I, forgot to go to the bottom right and check that one. Really, the easiest way to take care of some of these stages is to, do a complete left to right sweep, and then, work your way up, and then do another sweep, and then work your way up, and so forth. But with that, I do have the last key, and yes, that leprechaun's still asleep when I, froze him. So he's gonna stay asleep. So let's just get to the exit and finish this. So on to the last level for today. What I did wrong here was that I was a little bit too passive in waiting for the fox to show up, instead of trying to force the issue. So instead I had to run from him and then use the pipes. But then it turns out there was another one just waiting there for me. Here I thought I was gonna try and be sneaky against him, but then it turns out he got the jump on me. Fortunately he didn't kill me, but here I just had to trying to play a whole runaway with these guys. But anyway, right here the bombs are gonna be your best weapons, because you can just lay traps right in front of them and then they'll just run into it. I mean, that's just the way some of the enemies are in this game. I mean, I don't mind that there's a pretty healthy mix of enemies that let's chase you around relentlessly, and then the other enemies that have certain patterns to them. I actually don't mind that because it forces you to learn the types of enemies as well as strategies for taking care of them or getting around them. But I mean, I don't really need a strategy when I've got 10 carrots. So let's just get rid of those two. Yeah, I might as well get rid of you while I can. Here, I'm just looking for more people to kill, but then that didn't happen. Unfortunately, the stage is actually quite a bit easier once you take care of... Or if you do end up getting 10 carrots and just taking care of a few of those foxes, because... just like before, in this stage, when you're running away from so many enemies, you tend to miss things, and then you actually just have to find different ways to get to them while you're running from enemies. And I know it's definitely not the same as the first one when you didn't exactly have the firepower to take care of them, whereas in this game you do. I mean, most of them. I mean, unless they just decided to throw a ton of enemies at you at once, which will happen much later in the game. But anyway, because the way the pipes are laid out, it's a little bit more tricky to do a complete sweep of the area, just like I wanted to. But instead, I just have to end up doing something a little bit different. So right here we are up to number 4, and I'm pretty sure I get lost again on the way to number 8. No, instead I get lost on the way to nothingness. So what I have to do now is just backtrack all the way down. And that is one thing that just kind of bugs me about some of these levels, is that sometimes there's only one way out for certain places, and then sometimes you just have to do the same thing over and over again just to get to the different spot in the map. And right here I'm just trying to remember where everything is. So either way, now that I've got some more carrots, the good thing is with this game is that you can get invincibility pretty easily. I mean, you can take care of the enemies pretty easily that way. And this world is actually kind of generous with lives. I know the last one wasn't. But fortunately, I think I am getting better at this game. I mean, the ability to commentate after our recording at least gives me an idea of like what to do next, and you know, how I can improve with playing this game. And yeah, that's one thing I do like about post commentary, is that I mean, at least you get to learn from your mistakes better. But fortunately, this third world isn't really that hard. I mean, the only hard part is going to be the fact that the levels do get a lot bigger. And also, it's going to be a lot trickier to navigate them while you're running from all these enemies that are going to be popping up soon. Let's see, I'm almost up to 8. Well, at least I got another gun. So just in case I need it. I think what I'm trying to do is just take the other way down. And I end up landing probably the luckiest shot ever. Just in. And yeah, that was just me trying to figure out where to go next, because as I've said before, and here I am repeating myself again even though I thought I wouldn't, it's pretty easy to miss stuff because of how big the levels are, and because you're going to be running away from enemies all the time. You tend not to go back to the places you wanted to go to in the first place. And I totally did that wrong. See, what I was supposed to do was take the pipe afterwards. So instead, I just ended up jump cutting over to the part where I finally get to that damn key. There should be, or I should be going up to the 8th one soon, because all I have to do is just go up and then take the pipes. And, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this level, is just, make sure you remember where you have and haven't been, and then just make sure that you know where you're going, and make sure you know where you missed, just so you can come back to it. I think that was the right word for it. But anyway, now that I'm done here, I just need to get up here. Yeah, that was me just trying to see if there was anything else. But with that, I will see you in part 4.